my dear student, colleagues, and all the viewers who are watching this program live from Facebook page Physics Center. I'd like to welcome you all to our International Physics webinar. And today it's our 39th Physics webinar. So good evening to all here in Bangladesh, and good morning to all those who are watching this program from USA. I hope you are well and safe from Corona pandemic. So today I'd like to welcome you all to a joint session between Pablo University of Science and Technology and Post Science Institute, San Francisco, California, USA, in a post science webinar. And we have with us here today Dr. Ching, founder Post Science Institute, San Francisco, California, USA, connecting with us from USA. And he has already connected with us. So I'd like to welcome our speaker. So good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, and welcome to our International Physics webinar.
Yes.
So I'd like to say thanks on the behalf of the Department of Physics, Pablo University of Science and Technology, for accepting our invitation. So you have already come to know the title of our today's webinar is the Introduction to Post Science based on fuzzy Jumpulse mechanism. And our speaker is Dr. Ching, founder Post Science Institute, San Francisco, California, USA. And Ching is a founder of the Post Science based on the solution of touch, value, and software, extending the concept of the range of the values to that of range of tolerance. He became the heir to the father of the fuzzy logic, Lofty Jeddah. He received his bachelor, master's, and doctorate degree in electrical engineering and nuclear engineering from MIT, USA, where he was twice the table tennis champion. He did his postdoctoral training at the Current Institute of Mathematical Science and spent 8 years as a research associate in the Department of Philosophy at the University of California at Berkeley. So thus he has been formally trained in science, mathematics, and logic. So thanks for your patience. Now it's time to go to our speaker.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Das, for the introduction. Today I have been invited to introduce the solution to the contact problem. The contact problem is 300 years old and is still unsolved since Isaac Newton. The contact problem is also the problem of touch. Japanese sixth-generation computer science was robotics. It failed because robots cannot touch or make contact without bouncing off. Let me first give an overview of Post Science, of which I'm the founder. Post Science Institute hopes that the world will cooperate in knowledge. How do people of the world cooperate? The direction of the world is that the West has contributed science, and the East will contribute post science. In other words, the West civilization has worked out all the science and introduced to the world. And now it's up to the East, the new startup actually, to contribute post science, knowledge beyond science. Science deals with problems involving around 5 variables. Post science deals with social science, which involves problems with 50 variables, and with life science, which involves problems over 500 variables. I hope that after formal physics education, students will move up from science to post science. Post science has also contributed to science with the solution of touch, based on the new physics phenomenon of Jumpulse. The contact problem involves thinking about 25 variables, 5 variables from each end of a spring, and 5 times 5 is 25. Jumpulse is a sudden change of force, as impulse is a sudden change of momentum. After Isaac Newton, the mainstream problem in physics was the contact problem. Touch is contact. No one in the past 300 years was able to solve the contact problem until I solved the problem of prolonged contact in sports, and the Chinese father of physics, Dai Wu, coined the word Jumpulse. Physics is a good field for training in thinking. Pole science recommends that to raise the pride of every nation in knowledge, each country should have its own father of physics. Dai Wu could be a better thinker than Newton because he could solve the contact problem left by Newton. Henceforth, Newton should be considered just the British father of physics, and similarly both the Indian father of physics, or Einstein, the Jewish father of physics, etc. Finally, the solution of touch bridges the non-living technology of science and the living technology of pole science. Okay, I should start the talk with this, the talk on the introduction to pole science based on fuzzy logic mechanism. Okay, so next slide. Introduction to Jumpulse. Humans are designed by their creators to move with Jumpulse. Robots are designed by humans to move with force. Jumpulse is an instantaneous change of force. Animals, birds, and insects all move with Jumpulse. Jumpulse is produced with two opposing muscles, such as the bicep and the triceps. Before moving, both the biceps and the triceps are tightened, another in a wind-up position, and the motion is produced by tightening one and releasing the other. Jumpulse is the secret of prolonged contact in sports. Jumpulse is the secret of the 5,000-year-old Kung Fu. Next slide. The history of contact problem. Isaac Newton defined force as a pull or push. Force equal to mass times acceleration, which started the exact science. One must make contact before one can push. Robert Hooke of Hooke's law of spring force prodded Newton for the solution to contact. After Newton, the mainstream problem in physics was the contact problem, which was given up by physicists and replaced by the Hamiltonian formulation and the wave mechanics. Heinrich Hertz solved the static contact problem. No one since Newton for the past 300 years can solve the dynamic contact problem until now. Next slide, please. The invention of Jumpulse. The word Jumpulse is coined by Chinese father of physics Dai Wu. Figure 2 shows the picture of Dai Wu and me in 1990. Next slide. Double hitting. The solution to prolonged contact in racket sport was conceived in 1969 by me, Hugh Ching, who was twice the table tennis champion at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. A book, Table Tennis Scientific Analysis, was published in 1978. The book predicted double hitting in racket sports such as tennis, table tennis, and golf. Double hitting within one smooth stroke was legalized in tennis in 1982 and in table tennis in 2004. So start with an introduction to pole science. Introduction of pole science. Pole Science Institute was founded by Dai Wu, the president of the Academic Syndicate in Taiwan, and Hugh Ching, the father of pole science, that's me. Pole science deals with the solution of touch, value, and software, and deals with fuzzy logic. Hugh Ching, me, I am the heir to father of fuzzy logic, Lofty Sade, because I worked with him in the last 10 years of his life. And he wanted me to be with him all the time for 10 years. Ching extends the concept range of value of Sade to the concept range of tolerance. Now let's talk about fuzzy logic. Fuzzy logic deals with the sacrifice of precision in the process of expanding the range of tolerance of a creation in order for the creation to survive and flourish for all the possibilities of an uncertain future. For example, freedom can only be exercised within the range of tolerance of non-viable laws of nature in science and social science. Another example is robots are not fuzzy. They don't have wide range of tolerance, while humans have wide range of tolerance, so they can survive in an uncontrolled environment. So here's a picture of my friend for 10 years, actually 20 years. Last 10 years, we were inseparable. Figure the father of fuzzy logic, Lofty Sade. Hi, Lofty. Okay, fuzzy logic has some real deep significance. Fuzzy logic should be the new foundation of logic. Okay, today the foundation of logic is logic, is exact logic. But pole science suggesting that the new foundation of knowledge should be fuzzy logic. The Completeness Theorem states that the fuzzy logic of Lofty Sade has resolved the incompleteness of impossibility in logic and made logic complete and knowledge reliable with the new concept range of tolerance, within which logic is still complete and knowledge valid. I guess I need to explain a little bit more about this very, it's a conclusion. And the person who proposed the Incompleteness Theorem is Kurt Gödel. The person who proposed Incompleteness Theorem is my friend Kenneth Arrow. And both of them finally realized human knowledge are incomplete, and also there's some impossibility in logic. So most people do not realize this, but for people who are in logic, very experienced in logic, they realize that there's some real fundamental problem with human knowledge, and that this thing is not resolvable until fuzzy logic. Fuzzy logic say you can say anything is valid within the range of tolerance. Outside the range of tolerance, nobody can have unlimited range of tolerance. But within the range of tolerance, logic should be complete. For example, if a dictionary, each word you want to define a word, you have many words to define one word. Then all these many words, each one of them you have to redefine it with the dictionary. Then you continue define. Finally, the whole thing will come in a circle, but it's incomplete. Okay, you cannot complete this circle. You see, there is some problem with fundamental problem with logic, incompleteness theorems of Gödel. So Gödel and Kenneth Arrow are the two top thinkers of our time, and they propose that logic cannot be complete and sometimes impossible. Here comes law Faraday with his fuzzy logic. He said you should define. You see, here comes the explanation. When a solution is newly defined as an answer within the range of tolerance of the solution, fuzzy law resolved incompleteness in logic and become the new foundation of knowledge, replacing exact logic. In other words, now the solution, how do you define a solution? A solution is defined as an answer within the range of tolerance of a solution. Okay, if I ask you to give me an 8-inch stick, you can never do it. Okay, you can only do it 8-inch plus minus 0.1 inch, not exact 8-inch. So answer is always something with some fuzzy allowance. Okay, so this is the range of tolerance. So in the past, in science, they don't realize the important range of tolerance. You can never get exact inch. You cannot get exact anything in reality. Okay, and here come, you see, this logical people, they come and with the logic, criticize logic, but actually in all reality, there is some problem with giving exact solution. So within this definition of solution, fuzzy logic covers the incomplete or the impossible parts of the solution by expanding sufficiently the range of tolerance to make reason complete and knowledge reliable, but only within the range of tolerance. So now you see the whole picture. The picture can be explained with the example of robot. A robot has very narrow range of tolerance, but in order for it to operate in an uncontrolled environment, its range of tolerance has to be expanded. Okay, if you continue expand the range of tolerance, then it becomes something like a human who can handle any type of a normal situation like us. Okay. So basically, this range of tolerance is the foundation, the core of everything, but it's neglected in the exact science started by Isaac Newton. Okay, so next page, some more. Okay, here's a very philosophically oriented 2 pages. Okay, these 2 pages come together. Okay, this 2 pages talk about method of reason. Okay, knowledge is derived generally from reason. Okay, we all reason. We talk. We try to reason. We start some conversation like today. I'm trying to reason to you. You see, so this reason is the foundation of knowledge communication. The significance of post-science fuzzy logic is shown in the 16 methods of reason in the order of accuracy and reliability. 1 is the highest accuracy and reliability. 16 is the lowest accuracy and reliability. So we start from the highest point. The highest point is fuzzy complete logic. It deals with life science. You see, you got all question mark. We don't know what this is. This is very, very difficult. Fuzzy complete logic. Another, you make a fuzzy human being, it's very difficult. Okay, how do you expand the range of tolerance? For example, okay, all of us are made from cells. You see, in computer, you got 2 computers running together, tandem computers. So one would, this is called fault tolerance computer. Both have an identical thing. One failed, the other still alive. Okay, in living system, we got multicellular design. What is the purpose of multicellular design? It's the ultimate fault tolerance system. Okay, so this is fuzzy logic. You see, fuzzy logic talk about this fuzziness, multicellular design, which make us fuzzy. If we kill 1 million cells, we're still alive. You see, no problem. Okay, So we're dealing with the ultimate fault-tolerant system. Okay, number 2 is fuzzy complete mathematics. Okay, so here we're going into predicting all social sciences. Okay, social science has to be related together mathematically in a rigorous fashion. And finally, you have a deterministic system so that when you're given all the other factors, then the last one should be calculated. In other words, the relationship of all the factors in social science should be related mathematically. And there's only one way to do it is through mathematics, because there's 50 variables. It's not like in science, you got 5 variables, you can just hand wave and you solve the problem. But here you have a mathematics, you got to use, but we don't know how to do this. 1, 2, 3. 3 is the it's a fuzzy complete empirical verification. Empirical verification again is central to science. Deal with robot. You see, so we might make a self-manufactured robot. Number 4, complete other method of reasoning. Say religion of knowledge. Okay, here other method maybe some kind of religion of knowledge, a new religion. Okay, number 5 is fuzzy incomplete logic. It's where it just the fuzzy logic start to take central stage in knowledge. Number 6 is fuzzy incomplete mathematics. So it's fuzzy mathematics. Many people try to do fuzzy mathematics, but I don't think they are doing it correctly. This it's way too early. People do not know how to create fault tolerance, in order to do logic and mathematics. Okay, from number 7 it start to become interesting. Okay, number 7 is the talk of today. It deals with robot touch. Okay, it's fuzzy, incomplete, empirical verification. Okay, you can make a robot that can touch, but it's not a complete picture. Okay, the complete picture involves how this is created, how this tied to a human being. You see, all this is, incomplete. Let's do the incomplete part first. So it's 7. This is the highest point of reasoning, the most reliable reasoning we have today. Okay, so our talk now really deal with the most reliable way to do a most difficult problem. Okay, so it's not trivial. Today's talk is not trivial. Number 8 is I submit a paper to journals on theoretical biology based on the theoretical discovery of DNA. So the talk is the theoretical biology is not complete, but it's a start for, with fuzzy consideration of fuzziness. So this is a subject of another talk, but number 7 is what we are talking today. So it's very advanced. Okay, so number 9 to 16 are items that pole science or science we know. Okay, number 9 is exact complete logic. Okay, when I solve the problem of software, complete automated software, I have used exact complete logic. In other words, the logic is complete. Finally, the system, the software system become completely automated. In other words, we don't need to update it. It's self-generate, auto-update, auto-documentation. So it's completely automated, but it involves 3 innovations, and the logic, it involves 500 variables, so it's a very complicated problem. Then number 10 is exact complete mathematics. I solved the problem of value with complete mathematics. Okay, what social science is? Social science is a completely mathematical rigorous system which corresponds to reality. Okay, if you can set up a complete mathematical rigorous system and this system corresponds to reality, then this system is mathematics, so it cannot be wrong. but it also correlates to reality. So then what happened? Okay, what happened is I was able to use this system to predict the saving loan crisis, the subprime loan, with ease, no problem. Okay, the person who started this solution value is Gerald Debreu. Gerald Debreu wrote a very small book, Theory of Value. Okay, in the theory of value, he did exactly similar to this. He used fixed point theorem. Okay, the fixed point theorem is correspond to supply and demand model. In other words, a fixed point exists so that there's a solution to price. So item number 12 is item number 11 is the item which should be most interesting to you people. Okay, it's exact, complete empirical verification. That is science. Okay, science is based on empirical verification. Okay, to mathematicians, mathematicians do not believe in empirical verification. They say, what is this empirical verification? It's just a religion. You believe in something happens, but science is very useful. It is for the establishment, for us, also for you people. Number 11 is the most accurate method of reason. You see, science is today the top knowledge. Okay, it's the most popular knowledge. 100% of the human beings believe in science because it is exact, it is complete, based on empirical verification. That part pose science question. Okay, because empirical verification you derive from observation, a law of nature. How do you know this law will always exist, always be correct? You must believe in law of uniformity, which says what happened in the past will happen in the future. But this is totally based on faith. Okay, the sun come up in the morning from the east every day. You say that's a law of nature. No, everyone knows this is not law of nature, because someday the sun will disappear. You don't get this. Okay, so this in other words, science make itself complete by using an observed phenomenon, which they call law of nature. Okay, in other words, there's not enough equation in the system. They get the final equation from this observation. Okay, so this is the first time human being is able to get a complete reason. Okay, and it looks, it's very useful. It works. Okay, up to now, science is pride in itself that it works. Okay, number 12, close by, is religion. Okay, most people, science look down on religion. That's why science and religion, they fight so much, because they're 11 and 12. Religion is also complete. Why do I consider it complete? Because it takes into all the morality. You see, morality, religion is the ultimate of morality. Okay, they take all the morality, put it in a holy book, which is so big nobody can have time to read all of it. They put it all together and making the morality complete. But how they do the reasoning, we are not sure. Okay, so it's other method of reason. Okay, so in other words, people look down on religion. We post science, we do not look down on religion. We think it's complete. It's a very good knowledge. Okay, only it cannot surpass science. Anything in religion dealing with science is better. Okay, so they are 11 and 12. They fight like cat and dog. Okay, everybody fight because they are very close. Then we come down to 13. That is a very interesting point, but not concerning you physicists. Okay, your physicists will be dealing with item 11, complete. Okay, item 13, exact incomplete logic. Okay, today people reason, why the snow is white, all this very simple reason. Okay, this is deal with language. This is all incomplete logic. If you want complete logic, you will solve the problem of software, or solve the problem of complete automation. You need complete logic. Today in philosophy department, they deal with incomplete logic. They are playing games. They are practicing, training themselves in logic. Okay, so basically you need logic training. Then you can go to solve the problem of software. Okay, item 14 is exact incomplete mathematics. Today, mathematicians, they play games. They solve very few practical problems. Okay, even the Pythagorean theorem seem like a practical, but it's whoever used the Pythagorean theorem. They don't need to use Pythagorean. They can use some rulers. They measure it. They can immediately everyone who needs to build a pyramid can immediately invent the Pythagorean theorem. So the mathematics is incomplete. Today, all these mathematics are incomplete. So I'm asking logicians to look into complete solution, complete logic, and mathematicians to look at complete mathematics so they can solve problems in social science. And also looking into complete logic so they can solve problems in life science. Okay, biology deal with DNA. Okay, DNA is 0, 1, 2, 3. It's a program. DNA is really a program. Okay, if you look at computer science, where is empirical verification in computer science? Nothing. Computer science never use empirical verification. Okay, so what's going on? Biology is close to computer science because it's based on logic of DNA, then to science, which is based on empirical verification. So today we have social scientists, life scientists, they all use empirical verification. They use the scientific method to solve the social science and life science method, which is, to pose science, it's really quite incorrect. So item 15 is exact incomplete empirical verification. So social science and life science, they are using method 15, which is very low. You see, the second worst method. Try to solve problem in biology, try to solve problem in social science with empirical verification. Okay, empirical verification has I can give one simple example to show how silly this empirical verification is. If you have a drug test, if you eat something today, you can never tell what you eat will affect you. Because what you eat will affect you, your children, all the way. DNA will propagate to infinity. It will affect you to infinity. Okay, you can never tell. Drug tests cannot be empirically verified. Okay, they say it cure you now, but how about in the future? Okay, another example in social science, if buy ounce of gold for $2,000, today it's about $2,000. You buy ounce of gold for $2,000, you will never know if you pay the right price for the gold or not. It can go up to 3,000, it can drop down to 1,000, go up and down until infinity. You can never empirically verify solution social science. You can never empirically verify solution life science. So it's, as long as we need to go to infinity to have a complete system, empirical verification is useless. Okay, it's only useful in science. Therefore, science has a real problem. You see, for people in post science and also for mathematicians and logicians. So the last is whatever other method cannot do is exact, incomplete other method reasoning, such as morality. People say, okay, you must respect your teacher. If you continue to respect your teacher too much, you will never ask critical questions. So you will have some problems. So you have to consider good and bad together. You see. So morality, pre-religion, superstition, all belong to the 16, the lowest, the most unreliable system. Okay, this talk relates to the most advanced method of human reason, method 7. Okay, while science, which dominates current culture, reasons with method 11. Method 7 to 10 are accessible only by pole science. Method 1 to 6 are not accessible to the current society. Okay, next slide. The solution of touch. The solution of touch is the same as the solution of prolonged contact. The solution of touch is a precisely timed Jumpulse. In other words, you have to not only apply Jumpulse, you have to apply at the right time. The precise timing requires all human senses to function sufficiently within the range of tolerance required for a smooth touch. In other words, when you touch every day, every one of us touch over 1,000 times. Okay. You think it's such a trivial phenomenon, but in Japan, the robot cannot touch, no matter how hard they try. The physics did not teach them about the contact problem. They didn't solve the contact problem. Okay. So in order to touch, you have to have your eyes to see exactly when the thing is. Okay. You have to stop at the right time. You got to use all your feelings in order to touch. Okay. In other words, when human beings are created, they have to build with sufficient range of tolerance in their senses to execute touch. Thus, touch requires the full understanding of the specification of the senses as well as that of the physics of touch. Finally, the solution of touch exploits the range of tolerance to reduce the required precision of the senses, as in the driverless car. When we build a driverless car, we don't want to make it so exact that everything is just perfect. We want to build it fast enough, sufficient fast, sufficient, if you want to make it exact, it's infinite cost. You cannot do that. So you need to explore the range of tolerance, see how much bumping it can do. A car can bump. It doesn't have to be so precise. You got to expand the range of tolerance of the car. And also, you see here with driverless car, it's a good example. You see, the way they expand the range of tolerance of the driverless car is to build a road so that the road has enough range of tolerance for the car to run on. Okay, that is silly. It costs so much to build the road. Okay, so in one way or the other, we have to expand the range of tolerance. You see, for humans, we don't need to build any road. We can just drive on any. We can just walk around any place, forest, mountain, anywhere. But for driverless car, you got to expand the range of tolerance of the environment. The environment must be tolerant so the car can run on it. Here's a more technical part of prolonged contact. Touch or prolonged contact can be understood from the general fluid description, dF over dt equal to source, in plasma physics. You see, I'm authority in two fields in physics. One is plasma physics. I invent the foundation, theoretical foundation of plasma physics. Okay, plasma physics, they try to use the traditional formulation. Another, they use fluid dynamics and use kinetic theory. Okay, Boltzmann kinetic theory only take care of the first three items on the right. Okay, and I say that in order for plasma is a new fluid and a new problem. Okay, you need to consider, just like in our prolonged contact, you need to consider when particle has same acceleration, they move together. Okay. So that is not considered in Boltzmann equation. Okay, so both kinetic theory and the fluid dynamics foundation, they're all incorrect. They're inappropriate for describing plasma physics. And I formulate this problem, and Harold Graham, my teacher, say, "Oh, you have solved the foundation of plasma physics." Okay, Harold Graham is a student of he was a student of Richard Courant. Richard Courant is the best student of David Hilbert. David Hilbert is the top mathematician of the 19th century. Courant is the top mathematician of the 20th century. So these people are the top mathematicians come down from Europe. You see, so I still hold this problem. This formulation also lead me into the solution of touch, prolonged contact. Okay, here's the explanation. The above equation states that for two fluid elements to move together, they must have the same position, the same velocity, the same acceleration, etc., etc. You see, if you have two items which move with same position, same velocity, then finally they have different acceleration, so they will come apart. But if they have the same acceleration, they will continue to move together for a little while. Okay. So therefore, for a racket to achieve prolonged contact with the ball, they must have at least the same position, the same velocity, and the same acceleration. When the ball impacts the racket, they have the same position. When they contact, they have the same position. And the same velocity when they are in touch, they sort of move together. At one short moment during exit phase of the ball. When the ball impinges on the racket, when it moves out, at one short moment, the ball and the racket move at the same velocity. At the precise moment, if the player can increase the acceleration of the racket to match the acceleration of the ball due to the spring force, the two will prolong their contact. Okay, it sounds very difficult. The ball usually bounces on the racket and bounces off. Okay, so when bounces on its outgoing phase, at a certain moment when the ball and the racket reach about the same velocity, one must accelerate the racket so that it can keep the ball on the racket. Okay, so this is the theory. Okay, let's see how it works. Okay, here we have defined a very important law of touch. The Ching's law, Ching is me. Ching's law of touch states that all spatial derivatives of time equal or higher than acceleration can be changed instantaneously. In other words, you cannot change distance instantaneously. Take a while from point A to point B. Okay. You cannot change velocity instantaneously. A car can go from 0 to 60 in 10 seconds, or Tesla maybe 5 seconds. You see, you need time to change space, change velocity. But how about acceleration? Can acceleration change instantaneously? Okay, in physics, this is still a questionable, but I would say this is a law, okay? It can change. Any derivative higher than the acceleration can change instantly. So for example, when a pen, if you're holding a pen, you see, you're holding a pen, you drop it from certain height. Okay. The moment you release your finger, what is the acceleration on the pen? Okay. So for example, when the pen drops from 2 fingers holding it, the pen will instantaneously acquire an acceleration equal to the gravitational acceleration. Okay, that is my observation, okay, mental observation. Also, sinusoidal waves involve infinite number of derivatives, need the law of touch to function. Okay, you have a sinusoidal wave. it just goes up and down, you know. If we don't have instant change of acceleration of higher derivative, the sinusoid will have problem of going in such a smooth fashion. Okay, you know, so this, you know, physicists don't want to involve infinities. Okay, mathematicians they don't care. They can have infinities. Okay, set theory, you know. So this is law of touch. Okay, here's a graphic explanation of what is going on with the ball and the racket. Jumpulse graphic representation, velocity, acceleration versus time. In the inverted Z, okay, this is a Z inverted. This line here is a inverted Z. There's in the picture there's an inverted Z line. The dark line is represented the racket velocity, and the thin line is the ball velocity. Okay, at certain moment, the ball velocity and the racket velocity reach at the same, become the same. Okay, that is when to apply a jump pulse. So you need to apply the jump at the precise time when the ball start to leaving the racket. Okay, so this sound like a almost difficult, impossible task, but you know, my student and I have proved this empirically. This is science. Okay, empirically can be verified. Also, without this, you know, human being cannot touch. Robot in the future cannot touch. Robot cannot come into contact with the environment without control the environment like a driverless car. You see, you have to have jump pulse. The movement must be fast enough. The jump pulse is really fast. The jump pulse is the way that the tennis player, they play tennis. They have to move real fast in order to have some kind of stability, okay, on the ball. The way they do it is doing this, okay. You know, and I'm very famous in tennis. All the coaches, all the top 100, 500 players, they all buy my book. You know, it's called the Jumpulse stroke. The Jumpulse stroke. I explained the user equation, everything, you know, with all these graphs to definitely convince them there is such a phenomenon. But now we can demonstrate very easily. Okay, now here's a page, terminology of motion. Okay, so you have at the top line, you have velocity, acceleration, jerk. Okay, acceleration, rate of change of velocity, jerk is the rate of change of acceleration. So second line, you have momentum, force, yank. Okay, force is the rate of change of momentum. Yank is the rate of change of force. Then you have energy of acceleration, energy of jerk. Then finally, you have impulse and the jump pulse. Okay, next page. Impulse and jump pulse. Okay. What is this jump pulse? How important is this jump pulse? So today we are talking about this jump pulse. It should be one of the most important phenomena in physics, in robotics, in creating, you know, in allow object to safely come into contact. Okay. So here's the next page, next two pages. The significance of jump pulse. Mankind will achieve self-creation with method one of reason, which we do not understand at all. Self-creation can start from the construction of a self-manufactured general-purpose robot with the ability of touch. Okay, the robot must have the ability of touch. The robot will be able to replace all human physical labors and will be programmed by complete automated software, which has the ability of completely automatic update. Today, our software has to be updated every couple of years by paying Microsoft or somebody, you know, and the robot, you know, we should have a complete automated software which has the ability of completely automatic update. Also, all rational decisions should be based on value. The decision on what robot to construct will also be analyzed based on value. Ultimately, the robot might be improved to a point to realize that the human is the most advanced robot, where computer hardware and software are merged into one single unit, namely the DNA protein system. Thus, the self-manufactured general robot will become the human and the complete automated software DNA. Okay, right now in cognitive science, people are actually try to build, self-create human being. They copy from nature. Okay, and again, self-create versus evolution. Self-create, the purpose of existence. For what is self-create can do anything the creator can do. Okay, this concept of self-creation is a very important concept in knowledge. In other words, if you can create something which is identical, like in complete automated software, I can create a system which can do everything that the language I use to create this language. Then I can throw away the old language. I can use the new language. So this self-creation, the concept of self-creation, you have to think for yourself. Going to this next page. So the design specification of self-creation will reveal the meaning of life and the purpose of existence. In other words, when we're self-creating ourselves, we want to have specification. We say we want to make this a happy person. This person must be able to touch, must be able to think. All this specification. Once you have this specification, then all this specification will reveal the meaning, why we are created and the purpose of existence. We are created for what purpose? Okay, the meaning of life is in its value. Okay, in other words, if life has more value, means it has more meaning. And the purpose of existence is self-creation. Okay, with when you self-create, you can improve it. You say, okay, today people live too short a life. We give it 200 years, instead of 100 years. So you can improve it when it's time for you to self-create. The destiny of the living system is planned by our creators. Okay, the way we, today the world is, sort of in turmoil. We got the health crisis. We are going to have a financial crisis. We're on the verge of war. So the destiny, it's already planned by whoever created this system. They have a plan and they carry it and they create the living system. The only time we can change the destiny of a living system is when it is our turn to self-create. Okay, whatever happened to us now in nature, it's all being planned by whoever created the system. It will carry out the plan of the person who created the system. And we cannot really go in and change. When we want to change, we are still being created. They know we're going to change. You see, so this is not. We're not going to change. We cannot change anything. But when it's our time to self-create, we are going to create the same living system. Then we can, improve it. We think we can improve the age. We can make everyone look better, or whatever they want to do. You see, you do it when it's your turn to self-create. Otherwise, we're all trapped in this destiny, which has been planned by our creator. Okay, so here explain a little bit more. You see, when humans today make plans, the plan must be modified as soon as the future expectation changes. You see, this is the way we should plan. Today, we should not have, you can go to government, you tell them we should not have plans. We should not have 5-year plan, 10 years plan. We should have a planning system. Okay, the system have a complete planning, rigorous, complete, okay, like a solution value. Anytime the future changes, you must modify your plan immediately. Okay, this is a very simple logic, but nobody is doing this. In other words, you can go to any planning commission. You say, human being cannot plan. Okay, you got to have a planning system. Anytime future expecting changes, immediate change the plan. Okay, so this is described in the post-sign solution value. This is a pattern. You can look it up and find how a complete system is derived, value system derived. Anytime future expecting change, immediately recalculate. Okay, so also relate to this is peer review process should be replaced by valuation. Okay, today we have peer review system. Okay, you submit a proposal, you submit a paper, then some peer look at it. If agreeable to them, then they say, okay, pass. Or if but truly original ideas should have no peers. Nobody should be able to understand what is this original idea. Then this is really original. Okay, so peer review system, if it did not pass, it means it's probably could be original. But if it passes, that means it's peer. It's something everyone understands. See, so it compared to the past. The scientists have this problem of comparing to the past. Okay, what really important is the future. Okay, we're looking at the future. Unfortunately, the future extends to infinity. So we need to use mathematics to relate all this infinite future in a mathematical system. You see, so this is evaluation. Okay, peer review is compared to the past. In the financial crisis, when the price is $1 million, they keep comparing to the past. The price has dropped to $500 million. They don't care. They still call it $1 million. Then finally, everyone realized the price is less than $500 million. The market crashed. Okay, so both subprime loan and the saving and loan crisis, they are caused by using the market comparison method, which is applied to real estate. But peer review process is worse. It applied to knowledge. It suffocates all the truly original ideas. Okay, so if you want to propose something, you send it to a judge. Okay, all you do is you try to calculate, both of you try to calculate to see what is the value of this project. If the value of project is higher than the budget, then it should be funded. And the project expectation must be stated to infinity. So in the future, the proposal must be responsible for all the projections. Okay, so it's a full disclosure and full accountability. This evaluation, this peer review is a default. It's really one of the major problems of our society, comparing to the past. And they also follow from science. Okay, science people want to use old data to set up new laws. Okay, this habit from science. Okay, in science it has some value because it's a determinate system. It did serve something. It's a determinate system, and we can go to the moon without coming back. And this is because we are, we have a complete system. So this point you need to think about the peer review process. What's wrong with the peer review process? So finally, only creators can make a plan without modification. Whoever created the living system, they made it, they are gone. They don't do anything. Okay, the system just continue evolve. Okay, they made a plan, and it's working without their interference. So we suspect, is it possible that all this natural disaster are the ways that this within this plan to teach us to learn non-viable laws of nature. You see, so this talk about self-creation. Okay, here's the end of my talk, and the demonstration is probably much more convincing. You see, so all this talk are theories. I'm not too much into theory. The first demonstration, can you click on the first demonstration? That is the four-stage inverted pendulum. See, this cannot be done without using fuzzy logic, exploiting the range of tolerance. Can you click on the first one? Can you click on the first one, Dr. Das? First demonstration. Inverted, four-stage inverted. Can you click on the? Can you
Yeah. I have three, but you have
see if
to.
you can do it? Because all this talk is it sounds like it's very difficult to achieve it, but we have demonstrated everything, and also they have changed the regulation for tennis and table tennis. So can you do it? Yeah, I see. This is a four-stage inverted pendulum. You see, Google tried to do it. They claim they can do it, then they finally withdraw. They say no, they couldn't do it. So basically, this is Professor Hongxin Li is a student of fuzzy logic. So he derived equations, and they try to do this. Eventually, when we start to build robot that can touch, we need to do this. Okay, we need to do this. Use fuzzy logic. Okay, and possibly also use Jumpulse. You see, if this experiment four-stage inverted pendulum can be done, with Jumpulse, it's not done with Jumpulse. If it's done with Jumpulse, it can be even more efficient. Okay, because it can move faster. You see, it can change faster. So okay, let's see the second one. Prolonged count based on mechanical Jumpulse mechanism. This is shorter. The first one is too long. But it's very, very important. There are actually people who are using fuzzy logic to do some control system, to build control system which nobody else can build. So can you do the second one? Prolonged counter based on mechanical Jumpulse. This is just two cars. One car collide another car. Usually it should bounce off, but it did not bounce off. It moves together. So this is. Can you switch to the second one?
Yeah.
Here shows a jump-off mechanism. How can two cars collide without bouncing off each other?
Okay, maybe.
Now, this is last page, so take your time. I guess the talk is finished. If people want
Yeah.
to ask questions, they can also ask when we demonstrate.
Yeah. Okay. Now it's okay. I can share. so long.
It's already over. It's a very short video, so it might take time. Let me just explain. The second one is two cars. One car hit another car, then two cars move together out. It's equivalent to a ball hit a racket, so the racket carry the ball together out. So the third demonstration is hit a ping pong ball in one smooth stroke with double hit. You hit it several times. Okay, so this can be done if you know how to do it. You apply Jumpulse. And the next one is this professional, tennis player, Joan Martin Di Potro. He's one of the best players. He's ranked number 5 maybe right now. So he plays backhand, two-hand backhand. His racket goes faster than the ball. In other words, if you apply Jumpulse with acceleration, the ball is no longer accelerating, the racket is still accelerating. So the racket can go faster than the ball. Okay, then one of my students, he's from Bangladesh, maybe where close to where you are. He's a very good student. He just made a video himself, learning to do the double hitting Jumpulse. He's a very intelligent student in philosophy, but that's why I can communicate. He's into logic. You see. Then finally, last two are Jumpulse demonstration. If you people want to learn to do the dance, in other words, you slide your feet on the floor, do the dance. Okay, usually a robot, you ask him to slide on one leg, standing on one leg, ask a robot to slide, he cannot, because the friction on the ground is very strong. See, the static friction is very strong. The robot cannot slide unless he knows how to apply a Jumpulse. Okay, so this is called a Jumpulse dance because only human can do it today. Robot cannot do it. You see, so this last two demonstrations. So they can read themselves. You can give them the presentation and let them do it themselves. So if anybody has questions, yeah.
So thank you for your nice presentation, sir. So I think as the video will remain in YouTube and Facebook, I think the viewers can ask question later and we can discuss later about the question. So thanks for your nice presentation, and I'd like to say thanks on the behalf of the Department of Physics, Pabna University of Science and Technology. So thank you. Bye for today, and hopefully see you again in near future.
Yeah,
Bye.
talk to you.